Hi, I'm Bill, and in this video we're going to continue with the next step in our discussion of left-hand intervals. So this will be building on the prior video, which was introducing the left hand and introducing whole and half steps. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing two different linear patterns on one string. So we're going to be talking about 5 notes. Think of it as the first 5 notes of a scale, starting with the open string. So we're going to begin by numbering the notes. So the open string, in this case D, would be 1. So it would be 1, that's D. E would be 2. F, in this case F sharp is 3. G is 4, and then A is 5. So number the first 5 notes in that sequence. So think of it as D, E, F, G, and A. So this is going to be useful later when we're talking about scales and also in harmony as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on 2 patterns, and I will use interval descriptions to talk about these. So we're going to first talk about what would be called a major pattern. So it would be whole, whole, half, whole between those notes. So here is what that sounds like. So that's a whole step because you have an interval in between that you don't hear. So that would be. So that's the whole step, and then the next interval would also be a whole step. Because again, you have an interval in between, which is the half step, which is not heard. So that's a whole step, and then you have the half step. You can see that for the half step, the fingers are right next to each other, touching each other. So that's the half step. So we have whole, whole, half. And then the last one is, that's a whole step because you have a half step in between that is not heard. That would be, there's your half step. There's your whole step. So that's a whole step. So I said whole, whole, half, whole. So this is what it sounds like. Whole, whole, half, whole. So that's the first pattern. That's considered a major pattern. So that's part of a major scale, which you'll learn later on. But for this, we're just doing this on one string. So we're only doing part of the major scale. So whole, whole, half, whole. So So you can translate this over to the other 3 strings, and it's the same interval pattern on the other strings. So that's your major interval patterns. So the other pattern we're going to do, so that one is whole, whole, half, whole. So the other pattern we're going to do starting with the open string is whole, half, whole, whole. So the half step is in a different place. So this is a minor pattern. So this is what that's going to look like. So you have whole, and then you have, here's your half step. Half step, and then whole step again. That's whole step, and then a whole step. So again, that's whole, half, whole, whole. So this is what it's going to sound like. So in the major, you had the half step between 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 were tight next to each other, touching each other. So in the minor, whole, half, whole, whole, you have 1 and 2 are next to each other. So 1 and 2 are touching each other. So that is the minor pattern. Whole, half, whole, whole. And that also translates to the other 3 strings. So here's what it sounds like on the other 3 strings. So those are linear patterns for major, which is whole, whole, half, whole, and then minor, which I just played, which is whole, half, whole, whole. So you can work on these patterns on all 4 strings. And I go into this in much more depth in my Bill's Play Free violin method, which is linked in the description of this video. If you want to get into more depth, you can join me in my Play Free method. I have monthly and yearly subscriptions. If you want to get in on a monthly basis to try it out, you can get in. For on the monthly basis. You can cancel anytime if you decide you want to start it. But you don't want to continue it maybe past a month or so. You can just try it for a month and see if you like it. It's an 8-module method. I go into detail on a lot of different things for learning the violin. So I would encourage you to do that if you want to do a deeper dive into all of this, including this interval training. So I will look forward to seeing you in another video.